Hey, what's up, everybody? Ralph here. So today's topic, I'm going to share with you an article I read on CNNBC about college enrollment declining. Now, I'm sure a lot of you aren't shocked by that, especially with the state of education and going to universities, the costs rising. I'm sure none of you are shocked by it. Less people are starting to go to school. But let's go into the article and see the reasons why. I mean, obviously some of these things we already know why, but it's cool. It's interesting to see why, specifically why. Hey, what's up, everybody? Ralph here. So today's topic, I just read an article on CNBC about college enrollment declining. Now, I know a lot of you watching this are not shocked by that, especially with the cost of education going up. A lot of people are just not seeing the benefit of going to school anymore or getting education through an educational institution. Some people are probably finding out different ways to get the education, whether it's through courses or different means. But let's read the article to see if I found out why. So the title was College Enrollment Continues to Slide as Free Tuition and Loan Forgiveness Stall. All right. So, nearly 1 million fewer students have enrolled in college since the beginning of the pandemic. Between the sky-high costs and hefty student loan debt, would-be freshmen are struggling to see the value in the degree. At the same time, more companies are hiring workers straight out of high school amid an ongoing labor shortage. And I think a lot of companies should start doing that. Instead of like having people go to the institutions, unless you're getting a law degree or a doctor or engineer, I think a lot of, corporations or, businesses should, look to hire people and then, train them based on what they need them to do. I think that's a more efficient way to do it. Maybe I don't know how costly it would be, but I think that's a more efficient way of doing it. Like you take somebody that you think, can, do the job that you want them to do. They have good grades. They show that they have a level of commitment. Then you just train them yourself instead of them having to go through 4 years and then, get all this massive amount of debt. And, it doesn't seem worth it for the student, for the person. So I think that's a good idea that, corporations are actually, training these guys, taking them out of high school and bringing them on to their company. So nationwide, fewer students went back to school again this year, dragging undergraduate enrollment down another 3.1% from last year. According to a recent report by the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, based on data from colleges, the number of undergraduates in college is now down 5.1% compared to 2 years ago, a loss of 938,000 students, the report found. Community college, which usually sees an influx of students during economic downturns, have been particularly hard hit by enrollment declines. So not only are four universities taking a hit, but also community colleges. And you usually see, obviously, those are less expensive, so you would think that more people would be enrolling in that. But people are probably not seeing the value in that as well. So it's like, all right, what's the point? Like, especially like usually people go from, a 2-year institution to a 4-year institution. But if people aren't seeing the value in the 4-year institution, then some people are like, then what's the point of going to a 2-year institution, right? I mean, it makes sense. So that's interesting to see as well. So it says, okay, so even though community college is significantly less expensive, fewer students enrolled when the bear bug financial impact was at its worst. Community college students likely are older, lower income, and often balancing work, children, and other obligations, and they are also disproportionately students of color. All groups of the pandemic hits especially hard. Initially, Congressional Democrats' Build Back Better Act included a provision to make community college tuition free for 2 years, but a move President Joe Biden and the First Lady Joe Biden have been advocating since the campaign trail, but the legislation hit a wall after Senator Joe Manchin said he would not vote for it. And a lot of people say free tuition, but let's be real. Nothing is free. If you're taking economics 101 class, nothing is free. Everything is paid for one way or the other. And obviously this would be paid for through taxes. So obviously other people will be having to pay for the free education. So, probably a lot of politicians in there, especially Joe Manchin, does not see the value in that of just, having taxpayers pay for this for people that may not be committed to actually bring furthering their education. So you may agree or disagree with it, but obviously that's not going to happen. So free community college is no longer part of the package, the First Lady said at the Community College National Legislative Summit Monday. We knew this wasn't going to be easy, she added. I was disappointed. Federal student loan forgiveness was also left out of the Build Back Better agenda. Obviously, they're trying to implement the whole loan forgiveness. But we all know that's not going to happen. That's just something that these politicians like to say over and over again, but they seem to never go through with it. Like, if you're going to do it, then do it, right? Even though I'm not for the whole, just erasing student debt, but if you say you're going to do it, do it. Don't just tell people that this is what you're going to campaign on and then don't do it. That's just, you're just lying, which is what they tend to do a lot. A spokesperson for the White House said the president continues to explore the debt relief actions can be taken administratively. In the meantime, Biden has extended the payment pause for student borrowers that has been in effect since March 2020. Payments are expected to restart in May. That's going to be interesting to see. Like, come May, if they do not extend this, according to reports, 90% of people said they are not ready to pay back these loans. 90%. That's a lot. Okay? So it's going to be interesting to see come May how many people aren't being able to pay these things down, and see what the level of outcry because of that. Now, on the upside, more students who enroll in college stay on to complete their degrees. That's the upside. The downside is they collect a massive amount of debt, right? So, I mean, which one is worse, right? So now about 42% of students who start a 2-year school finish the program in 6 years. The National Student Clearinghouse Research Center found an uptick from previous classes. In comparison, 69% of students who matriculated at a 4-year public university completed their degree within 6 years. The rate jumps up to 78% for those who started at 4-year private schools. This broad measure performance for higher education as a nationwide system included transfers among 2 to 4-year schools of all kinds. Shows long-term improvements for students in college alike, said Doug Shapiro, the executive director of National Student Clearinghouse Research Center. So basically what I'm taking away is that people are starting to realize that, although education is important, the system in which we're getting educated now in this country is just isn't working. Racking up a massive amount of debts for a degree that's probably going to net you maybe a 40 or 50, $60,000 job a year is not financially sound. So people are saying like, okay, why am I going to collect a whole bunch of debt? And then I see how other people are struggling to go on with their lives with this debt. Then why am I going to also take this debt? And that's what you want. You want people to like learn from the mistakes. They say, well, a smart man learns from his mistake, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. And you want people doing that. If you're seeing other people complain and struggle financially with paying their bills, and it's because of a massive amount of debt, a massive amount of student debt, then you want people to understand like, okay, maybe I don't want to go that route, or maybe I have to figure out another way to go that route. And if I am going to go that route, make sure that the degree that you're pursuing is worth it. It's going to net you a high earning position. And I think a lot of people aren't doing that. They're taking these degrees and they're getting degrees in useless, that are useless, that aren't getting them high paying jobs. And they have this whole bunch of debt, which they'll never pay off if they don't figure out how to understand and manage their money. So I think I think a lot of people are coming to realize that, and they should. Like, if I could go back, I wouldn't even have gone to college. I would have just got my real estate license and just invested. But I met a lot of good people in school, but just the whole 4-year, just school is like worthless. I got an economics degree and it did nothing for me. But you learn from that. You meet some good people, and that's just the way it is. But I think other people are starting to realize that education is just not worth it the way it's currently implemented. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and take care. Have a good one. Right, later.